Hey guys, what's going on? If you've noticed, I have a very nice glow. I'm a little red. The beard is just a little bit thicker. Sadly, I'm not any more handsome than I already was before, ruggishly so. It's because I just got back from San Diego Comic-Con. And it was so much fun. Some great things happened, and let's start making some excuses. We were thinking about doing a Comic-Con video for you guys and give you like some footage and a little behind the scenes, and oh my god, it would have been so great if we were there. Let's watch this video and pretend that we were because of Kirk. Awesome! But we ran into a little bit of a snafu. I got like a little footage from one day, and then, bear with me, I dropped my camera, and it's easily fixable, but I didn't have the stuff to fix it at con, and I just need to let you know right now.
It's all Gary's fault.
I got to meet with some of my favorite creators, got a bunch of books signed, went to some really amazing panels, and just overall such a positive experience. And even if you're the type of person who's like, I can't go for the entire weekend, I definitely implore you to try to do it for just one day. San Diego Comic-Con is just, it's an awesome life experience, and if you're fortunate enough to get to do it every year, like some people do, like I always look forward to, it's such an awesome experience, and you're always surrounded by, your people, and it's great. Comic reviews for July 8th, my top 5. Starting with number 5, Amazing Spider-Man number 2, Renew Your Vows, Secret Wars tie-in. I promise you right now, this entire list is not going to be Secret Wars like the last couple of weeks have been. Number 1 of this series, I was actually really disappointed with. I'm pretty sure it was the disappointment of the week a few weeks back. And it's gotten better. It's gotten very good as far as the story. Dan Slott has now centered in on what I think is going to be the main story that he wants to tell. And I love the fact that it's really kind of focused on Peter and Mary's child that they never had in the regular universe. And it's kind of like her dealing with her powers and her frustrations that they now live in a world where she's not allowed to use them. Number 4 on the list this week is Descender number 5. It's still Lemire, it's still Nugent, and this series is probably why people keep gravitating towards Image for really epic sci-fi stories. It's what they're doing best. A lot of people, I think, were starting to get a little over the hype on this series, especially when number 1, that issue was so hard to get a hold of because they just signed a deal that was going to get turned into a show even before it even came out. And then I think issue 3 and 4 were a little like, where's this thing going? But man, this art's so good and the dialogue's so great, and the characterizations of robots and their human emotions was something to really grasp onto. Stick with it, because issue number 5 is fucking amazing. It's still top caliber. It's still everything that every high mark standard that the series started with is set. And there's a really great twist and turn and some new information in this issue that actually now makes it even more interesting. And now we know there's a bigger story to tell, especially with more personal stories with the characters and what their real intentions are with this whole mission of trying to find out where these giant fucking robots came from that decided to annihilate all life. Number 3 on the list this week, Saga number 30. This series keeps delivering. If you haven't been reading Saga, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to help you. I just know that you need to go back and start collecting the trades. It's just so epic, and again, the theme is family. Obviously, Fiona Staples is still at the top of her game. It's one of the main reasons why I keep coming back. She and Brian K Vaughn just make the perfect creative team for this thing. If you remember last issue, people died, things happened, and it left you emotionally scarred at the end of the issue. And I've got really bad news. There's not really much of a huge happy ending in number 30, the follow-up. There's still some, great moments when characters finally reunite, and there is some finality to some other storylines. And they're not the ones you were expecting, and I don't think they're the ones that you wanted to see. And it's still emotionally wrought, and there's characters just going through the fucking gamut of how much more can they put up with, because even when things get better for some of them, they find out that the situation's actually much more worse than they originally thought. Fucking saga, guys. Yes. And like I was saying, I actually got to meet some of my creators at San Diego this week. And who did I get to meet? The creative team of Phonogram and Wiccan Divine, Jamie McKelvin and Kieran Gillen. Let me tell you, they're just delightfully British, and I just got so many inspirational and uplifting words and talks with them. Got to have a couple of drinks. That was so much fun. Got to meet Brian Lee O'Malley, who's also one of my favorite creators. Very soft-spoken, but just the sweetest person on the face of the earth. And my favorite experience, actually, was I got to meet Chip Zdarsky from Sex Criminals and Howard the Duck and just about every cool thing that I'm loving right now. And what do I say about this? Matt Fraction decided to drop out. I really wanted to get my Sex Criminals hardcover signed by the both of them, but I kind of want to wait for another con to have that experience with the two of them. I want to do both of them together. Take that any way you will. I am talking about Sex Criminals right now. But I did have the really cool fortune of coming across Just the Tips. And this is all the sex factoids and sex advice from two of the most demented, funniest creators in comics right now. And I got really lucky. I got to have it signed by Chip Zdarsky. And we definitely had a moment. A dramatic reading, if you will. Kirk. Little tiny hearts. Sex tip. Yeah. Put it there. Yeah. Oh no. Chip. Why am I talking about this? Well, I actually decided to go pick up Zdarsky's variant cover for Archie #1, and I had him sign that too, because that was just a very cool cover, and I love the design and the layout and the font, and just this all worked out so perfectly. This is where I introduce you to the worst segue ever you've seen in a review video for comic books. Number 2 on this list this week is Archie #1. I'm not joking. This series is awesome. When they decided to revamp, restart, reboot, and just basically, you know, demolition the entire institution that is Archie and start it all over again and try to make it more contemporary for new readers, issue #1 fucking knocks it out of the park. It's more Fiona Staples art. Who can get enough Fiona Staples art? No one. Just give me all of it. She's so talented, and it works so well with this series. Writing is by Mark Waid, and he's done something very creative and very cool with this series. Basically, everyone in America and the world knows Archie. You know Jughead, you know Betty, you know Veronica, you know Mr. Weatherby. And they use that as a tool to tell the story that they're starting all over again. Because even though everything's very familiar and you know and I know exactly what the Archie world is all about, they still make it fresh. And they still kind of open up the characters a little bit. And it does have a Saved by the Bell kind of vibe to it, and I'm totally guilty of that. Or Degrassi for my Canadian friends. I'm cool with Degrassi too. Just the art's fantastic. It's just enough dialogue so that you get a sense of who each character is. And I really do like the fact that the issue opens up with Archie breaking the fourth wall, and he is the narrative speaking to you. And there is this little mystery of what happened. And Betty and Archie were the couple in high school, and they broke up, and no one knows why, and everyone needs to know why, but you know that there's probably good reasons. You definitely see Jughead as the penultimate best friend, and, yeah, the series just was great. It's fucking great. It's fun. I'm definitely highly suggesting this. And with this top 5 list, we have definitely hopscotched everywhere. I've had some of the big 2, and I've had some indie comics, and it's always great when Image sneaks in there, and somehow Archie as a publisher snuck in this list. But with all this good stuff, I do have to still pick the disappointment of the week. And you're going to think that I'm picking on the little guy right now, and it's more of a fanboy rant that I have. Jason Todd, Red Hood and Arsenal, #2. Man, how do I talk about this series? Red Hood and the Outlaws during the New 52 started very, very strong, and it was a great take on Jason Todd and giving him a really mythic spiritual background after he came back from the Lazarus Pit and being resurrected after being killed by the Joker, and he donned the Red Hood persona. I've always loved it. Then they tried to put him in as Red Hood and the Outlaws, and like I said, the series started strong, but then it kind of lost its way, and you weren't quite sure what kind of comic it was trying to be. And now that we're trying this all over again within DCU, YOU, not DC capital U. I still think it sounds confusing, and that was bad marketing. There's issues, and not in the good way. The art is great, but what they're trying to do and set with the tone and vibe with this comic is make it kind of edgy and interesting, and it kind of takes its cues from Teen Titan Go and a couple of the comic spreads. Go ahead, Simon. Show them. Just give them a graphic so they know what I'm talking about. You definitely feel like it's not necessarily humorous or adds to the story. It actually kind of takes you out of it in a way of what the issue originally started out as. And it's distracting. It stops the comic. It stops the flow. And I feel like the story was weak, and this was almost kind of, gimmicky, fodder to kind of like distract you from the fact that they were like, oh, we don't know what we're going to do with this story, but we're going to try to figure out what these characters are along with you while we're writing it. DC, you and I need to have a talk for a second. This is what you do. Give Jason Todd his own series. He's got 245s. He kills. He's a Batman who doesn't live by that code. And he's also got the Bat family, and they don't know what to do with him because his way works. And just write the character like that. Just have him be a recluse, just wild, spark, electric, villain, anti-hero, Batman. Just do it. You have so much conflict with the rest of the Bat family trying to figure out if they should take him down or not because his way is working. I don't get it. Which brings us to number 1 this week, and I am so excited that this is the number 1. I'm so excited that I get to announce this as the number 1 issue. Star Wars, Marvel Comics, Lando. Single-handedly in one issue, this just may have become my favorite Star Wars series from Marvel since they got the franchise back. It's fucking killer. It's Charles Soule writing it. He did She-Hulk. He is now going to write Daredevil in the new Marvel reboot, and it fucking works. It's Alex Maleev. His art definitely belongs in the Marvel Universe. This team is fantastic. They had so much breathing room and ability to character build with this series, and they knock it out of the park in the first issue. The colors are amazing. I'm going to forget the colorist, but he does really great tones and change in tone as the story continues in just one issue about 3 different times. And it's so cool. We kind of learned that Lobot, you know him, shaved head guy, he's got the cybernetic thing, he had absolutely no words and just kind of like always nodded to Lando and did his thing. We span on that character, and he's kind of Lando's fucking Chewbacca. And they're both in it together, and they're both running hustles, and they're always achieving their goals in the best way possible. Lando doesn't keep his hand on his gun. He's fucking smooth. He's Lando Calrissian. He just talks, and he's just a really smooth operator. And I just kind of feel like every single Colt 45 advertisement has kind of come to life in building the character that is Lando in this comic book. This is Star Wars, and I love the fact that all these series are kind of tying together. I get the impression from this series is actually going to be a little bit of a prequel to the Lando that we meet on Cloud City in Empire. But this issue is fantastic. Even just the cover alone on this series definitely translates the mood in the story and how Lando handles situations in the comic. I'm just flabbergasted at how good Star Wars is. I'm also embarrassed that I used the word flabbergasted to express myself and how great this title started off. I definitely suggest it. Lando is more than a B character, and this issue definitely brings him up to the upper echelon of why we watch him and why we love him. Fucking amazing. And there you have it. A very, very late review from last week's comics. If you made it this long, thank you for sticking around. We always appreciate it. I always appreciate it. I always enjoy doing this with you guys. As always, please leave comments down below. I want to know what you're reading. I want to know what I should be reading. Where did I get it right? Where did I get it wrong? Also, please go check out all the other things that are on Comic Impact. There's podcasts, like the new one that's going to come out later this week that I snuck myself on. May have invited myself. I don't feel too guilty about it. And also other reviews. We've got unboxing videos. Please like and subscribe. Go check all that stuff out. And, guys, it was a really good week for comics. It was a really good week for the industry, and I'm just so glad to see all the great creator-owned individual and personal stories that we're going to get from the industry in the next couple of years that are announced. Anyways, I'm Kirk. Find me at KirkLikeStuff on Twitter. My Instagram is Kirk_FM. It's just pictures of my dog and comic books and when I'm drunk. Anyways, catch you next week. Thanks, guys. He actually is just fucking smooth. He's Lando fucking Calrissian. Oh, shit. Let's jump cut that one. He's fucking smooth. He's Lando Calrissian. How can I not say this? Ah! One more jump cut.